Disinfect small cuts and scrapes. Grandpa always trusted hydrogen peroxide for quick wound care. First, rinse a small cut or scrape under cool water to remove dirt. Then pour 3% hydrogen peroxide directly onto the wound or dab with a cotton ball. Allow it to bubble for a few seconds. This signals it's lifting debris and killing bacteria. Gently blot dry with a clean cloth and cover with antibiotic ointment and a bandage. Use peroxide only during the first cleaning to avoid slowing healing. To seal the skin faster after cleaning, dab a little petroleum jelly over the cut before bandaging. It keeps the area moist and speeds up tissue repair. Soak and disinfect feet. Hydrogen peroxide can refresh your feet and help prevent infections. Fill a basin with warm water and add half a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide. Soak your feet for 10 to 15 minutes. The solution bubbles away dead skin and softens calluses while disinfecting. After soaking, pat your feet dry and moisturize to lock in softness. Avoid soaking open cuts or broken skin. If you struggle with nail fungus, soak cotton balls in hydrogen peroxide and press them gently onto affected toenails for 5 minutes after your foot bath. Doing this 2 to 3 times weekly helps speed visible improvement without harsh creams. Rinse canker sores. Grandpa often said hydrogen peroxide could chase the sting away. For a canker sore, mix equal parts 3% hydrogen peroxide and water. Swish gently around your mouth for 30 seconds, focusing on the sore, then spit it out and rinse with plain water. The bubbling action clears bacteria and speeds healing. Repeat up to 4 times a day, but stop if irritation develops. Skip acidic foods during healing. For longer-lasting protection, coat the sore afterward with a small dab of coconut oil. It acts as a natural barrier, keeping moisture off the wound and easing pain during meals or talking. Gargle or spray for oral and nasal hygiene. Hydrogen peroxide offers a simple way to maintain better oral and nasal hygiene. Mix equal parts 3% hydrogen peroxide and water. Gargle for 30 seconds, then spit and rinse. For a nasal rinse, dilute 1 tablespoon peroxide into 1 cup saline solution and spray gently into nostrils. Always avoid overuse to protect sensitive tissues. Regular gargling can also help whiten teeth slightly over time due to peroxide's mild bleaching ability. If your throat feels dry after gargling, sipping a teaspoon of raw honey afterward coats the throat, soothes irritation, and provides a natural antibacterial boost for extra daily protection. Soften and remove earwax. You can soften stubborn earwax safely using hydrogen peroxide. Tilt your head sideways and apply 2 to 3 drops of 3% hydrogen peroxide into the ear canal using a clean dropper. Let it bubble for 5 minutes, then tilt your head upright and catch the drainage with a tissue. Wipe gently without inserting objects. Repeat daily if necessary until clear. Do not use if your eardrum is perforated or you experience pain. To help prevent future wax buildup, drip a few drops of warmed olive oil into the ears once weekly. This keeps earwax soft and encourages natural, easy drainage without blockages. Whiten teeth with peroxide and baking soda. Hydrogen peroxide and baking soda together create a powerful teeth whitener. Mix 1 teaspoon of baking soda with enough 3% hydrogen peroxide to form a paste. Brush gently for 1 to 2 minutes using a soft toothbrush, then rinse thoroughly and follow with regular toothpaste. Avoid using more than twice a week to prevent enamel wear. This method helps lift surface stains caused by coffee, tea, or smoking. It's safe, affordable, and easy to do at home. For a final touch, rub the inside of a banana peel over your teeth. Minerals like potassium and magnesium naturally boost surface shine. Brighten fingernails and toenails. Discolored nails brighten quickly with a simple soak. Combine half a cup of warm water, 1 tablespoon of 3% hydrogen peroxide, and 1 tablespoon of baking soda in a small bowl. Soak fingernails or toenails for 5 to 10 minutes. Gently scrub the nails with a soft toothbrush or nail brush. Rinse thoroughly and moisturize your hands or feet. Repeat once weekly until stains fade. The peroxide lightens stains, and baking soda exfoliates gently. This remedy works on yellowing caused by dark nail polish or fungal buildup. Add a squeeze of fresh lemon juice to the mix to enhance brightening even more. Treat swollen gums. Hydrogen peroxide can ease swollen, irritated gums by reducing bacteria and inflammation. Mix equal parts of 3% hydrogen peroxide and water. Swish the solution gently around your mouth for 30 seconds, focusing on the affected area. Spit it out, do not swallow, and rinse with plain water afterward. Repeat up to twice daily until symptoms improve. Avoid using undiluted peroxide as it may cause gum irritation. Do not use if you have open sores or severe gum disease without consulting a dentist. A helpful extra tip: gently massage the gums with a soft bristled toothbrush afterward to stimulate circulation and encourage faster healing. Whiten and freshen dentures. Hydrogen peroxide effectively removes stains and bacteria from dentures. Fill a cup or bowl with enough 3% hydrogen peroxide to cover the dentures completely. Soak them for 30 minutes. Rinse thoroughly under cool water before wearing again. Do not soak metal parts for long periods, as peroxide can corrode metal. Use this method once or twice weekly in addition to your regular cleaning routine. It is safe, inexpensive, and works without harsh chemicals. If stubborn stains remain, sprinkle a little baking soda on a soft toothbrush and scrub gently before soaking to boost whitening and remove plaque buildup easily. Sanitize toothbrushes and mouthguards. Your toothbrush and mouthguard collect germs daily. Disinfect them by soaking in a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide for 10 minutes. Rinse well with warm water before using. Use this method weekly for toothbrushes and after every use for mouthguards. Never mix hydrogen peroxide with other cleaners. Regular soaking helps prevent bacteria from spreading back into your mouth. It is simple, affordable, and very effective. Alternate by soaking in white vinegar on different days for even broader germ control. To prevent mold buildup, let toothbrushes and mouthguards air dry fully before storing them in any enclosed container afterward. Clean mirrors and glass streak-free. Hydrogen peroxide cleans mirrors and glass beautifully without streaks. Fill a spray bottle with 3% hydrogen peroxide. Spray directly on the surface and wipe with a microfiber cloth using smooth, even strokes. The peroxide dissolves grease, smudges, and grime. For heavily soiled surfaces, wipe first with a damp cloth, then finish with peroxide. Avoid paper towels, which leave lint. This method also works wonders on car mirrors and shower doors. Never use peroxide on anti-glare or specialty-coated glass, as it may damage the finish. For flawless results, finish by buffing the surface with crumpled newspaper to create extra sparkle. Polish sinks and metal fixtures. Restore dull sinks and fixtures with hydrogen peroxide. Spray 3% hydrogen peroxide directly on stainless steel, chrome, or porcelain. Let sit 5 minutes, then scrub with a sponge or soft cloth. Buff dry with a clean microfiber towel for a shiny finish. Avoid using it on granite, marble, or natural stone. It may cause dulling. For a deeper clean, sprinkle baking soda over damp fixtures before spraying peroxide. The bubbling action lifts hard water spots and soap scum. Rinse thoroughly. Always avoid using abrasive steel wool, which can scratch and permanently damage the polished surface of your fixtures. Wash fruits and vegetables to remove bacteria. Hydrogen peroxide helps clean fruits and vegetables safely. Fill a large bowl with cold water and add 1/4 cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide. Soak produce for 3 to 5 minutes. Swish gently and rinse thoroughly under running water. Do not soak delicate produce like mushrooms or berries, which absorb excess liquid. This removes dirt, pesticides, and bacteria. Always rinse well to eliminate any peroxide taste. Dry leafy greens using a salad spinner to extend their fridge life. Never mix peroxide with vinegar in the same bowl. The combination forms peracetic acid, which can irritate skin and eyes. Cleaning grout. Grandpa's favorite grout cleaner mixed hydrogen peroxide and baking soda into a paste. Combine equal parts of each and apply with an old toothbrush or small scrub brush. Let it sit for 10 minutes before scrubbing. The bubbling lifts mildew and grime. Wipe clean with a damp cloth and rinse well. For heavily stained areas, sprinkle dry baking soda directly onto grout and spray peroxide over it to activate fizzing. Avoid using metal brushes, which can damage tile surfaces. Work in small sections for best control and avoid leaving the paste on too long, as it may dull glossy tile finishes. Disinfect cutting boards and counters. Hydrogen peroxide disinfects kitchen surfaces easily. Spray undiluted 3% hydrogen peroxide onto cutting boards and counters. Let sit 5 minutes, then wipe clean with a damp cloth. It kills bacteria and viruses without harsh chemicals. Avoid using peroxide on porous, natural stone surfaces such as granite or marble, which can stain or etch. For extra cleaning power on wooden cutting boards, scrub first with coarse salt and half a lemon, then spray with peroxide for deep sanitation. Always dry cutting boards thoroughly after disinfecting to prevent cracking and warping from trapped moisture over time. Disinfect kitchen sponges. Kitchen sponges trap bacteria, but hydrogen peroxide restores them safely. Dampen the sponge, place it in a shallow bowl, and pour enough 3% hydrogen peroxide to fully saturate. Let it sit for 5 minutes as it bubbles away germs. Rinse thoroughly and allow to air dry completely. Avoid microwaving sponges, as it can cause fires if metal fibers are present. Be sure to replace sponges regularly, since even disinfected ones break down over time. An easy way to keep bacteria at bay between cleanings is to alternate 2 sponges, letting one fully dry while using the other. Remove burnt stains from cookware and sheets. Burnt stains lift easily with hydrogen peroxide and baking soda. Sprinkle baking soda over the stained area, then pour 3% hydrogen peroxide until it forms a paste. Let sit 15 minutes. Scrub gently with a non-scratch sponge and rinse. It works best on stainless steel, enameled cookware, and baking sheets. Avoid using on non-stick surfaces to prevent damaging coatings. Here's a quick trick for extremely stubborn stains. Warm the cookware slightly before applying the paste. The gentle heat helps loosen baked-on grime faster and makes scrubbing easier with less elbow grease. Sanitize garbage cans and bins. Grandpa always said a clean garbage bin keeps the whole kitchen fresher. Rinse out the bin with water first to remove loose debris. Spray undiluted 3% hydrogen peroxide inside and outside of the bin. Let it sit for 10 minutes to kill bacteria and neutralize odors, then rinse thoroughly and wipe dry. Avoid mixing peroxide with bleach when cleaning, as this creates dangerous fumes. For ongoing freshness, sprinkle a few tablespoons of baking soda at the bottom of the bin between cleanings. It absorbs moisture and odors effectively, giving your bin a longer-lasting, clean smell without extra work. Deep clean toilet bowls. Hydrogen peroxide naturally disinfects and brightens toilet bowls. Pour half a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide into the bowl and let sit for 20 minutes. Scrub thoroughly with a toilet brush, paying extra attention under the rim. Flush to rinse. Always wear gloves and never mix peroxide with other cleaners to avoid dangerous reactions. To prevent mineral stains from building up in the future, try dropping a pumice stone into the tank, secured in a mesh bag. It will gently scrub away hard water rings with every flush. Clean shower curtains and toilet brushes. Mildew thrives on shower curtains and toilet brushes. Soak both in a tub of warm water mixed with 1 cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide for 30 minutes. Rinse thoroughly with clean water. Allow curtains to air dry fully before rehanging to prevent mold. Never use peroxide on colored or delicate fabric curtains, which may fade. To avoid future mildew buildup, spritz your shower curtain with a 50-50 mix of vinegar and water once a week. It deters mold growth and keeps the curtain fresh between deep cleaning sessions. Freshen and sanitize mattresses. Mattresses absorb odors and bacteria over time. Lightly spray the surface with 3% hydrogen peroxide, taking care not to soak the fabric. Allow to air dry completely. The peroxide will kill bacteria and help remove stains. Vacuum the mattress afterward to lift loosened dirt. Always test a small hidden spot first to check for fabric discoloration. Never use peroxide on memory foam, which can degrade. A simple way to keep mattresses fresh longer is to sprinkle baking soda over the surface monthly, leave for 30 minutes, and vacuum thoroughly. This absorbs odors and moisture between deep cleanings. Treat acne. Hydrogen peroxide can help reduce acne-causing bacteria. Dip a clean cotton swab in 3% hydrogen peroxide and apply directly to blemishes. Let dry before applying any moisturizer. Avoid applying to large areas or broken skin, as it may cause irritation. Always moisturize afterward to prevent dryness. Do not use this treatment more than once daily. Here's a good habit to boost skin recovery. Swap your pillowcase every other day. Clean fabric reduces the transfer of oil and bacteria onto your skin, helping prevent future breakouts while allowing existing blemishes to heal faster and more evenly. Disinfect toys safely. Toys can harbor plenty of germs. Spray hard plastic or rubber toys with undiluted 3% hydrogen peroxide and let sit for 5 minutes. Wipe clean with a damp cloth. Rinse thoroughly if toys are used for teething. Avoid soaking electronic toys. For softer fabric toys, place them in a pillowcase and launder normally. Here's a quick tip for sanitizing multiple small toys at once. Fill a bucket with a mixture of 1 part peroxide and 3 parts water. Soak the toys for 10 minutes, rinse, and let air dry completely before giving them back to children. Whiten yellowed porcelain. Porcelain sinks and bathtubs lose their brightness over time. Make a paste with baking soda and 3% hydrogen peroxide. Apply to the stained area and let sit for 15 minutes. Scrub gently with a soft sponge and rinse well. Avoid using metal scrubbers that can scratch the porcelain surface. Repeat for deep stains. Be sure to dry the surface completely after cleaning to prevent hard water spots from forming. Another option to maintain shine longer is to wipe down porcelain surfaces weekly with a soft cloth and a small splash of white vinegar, which naturally prevents mineral buildup and discoloration. Kill mold and mildew on surfaces. Hydrogen peroxide is highly effective against mold and mildew. Spray 3% hydrogen peroxide directly onto the affected surface and let it sit for 10 minutes. Scrub with a stiff brush, then rinse thoroughly. It works best on non-porous surfaces like tile, shower walls, and countertops. Always wear gloves and ventilate the area while cleaning. Avoid using peroxide on delicate fabrics or untreated wood, as it may discolor them. To prevent mold from returning, consider running a dehumidifier in problem areas. Lower humidity levels make it much harder for mold and mildew to thrive or reappear over time. Remove stains from cookware, tiles, and marble. Hydrogen peroxide lifts stains from a variety of surfaces. Mix baking soda with 3% hydrogen peroxide to form a paste. Apply to stained cookware or tile grout and let sit for 15 minutes. Scrub gently with a soft brush or cloth and rinse well. Always test marble on an inconspicuous spot. Avoid acidic cleaners which etch the surface. Do not use abrasive scrubbers on delicate finishes. For ongoing marble care, wipe surfaces weekly with a damp microfiber cloth and a tiny amount of mild dish soap, then dry immediately to prevent water spots or mineral streaks. Eliminate armpit stains. Hydrogen peroxide breaks down sweat and deodorant stains on fabric. Mix 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide, 1 part baking soda, and a small squirt of dish soap to make a paste. Apply directly to stained underarm areas and let sit for 30 minutes before washing as usual. Grandpa advised to avoid using it on delicate fabrics like silk or wool. Here's a helpful tip to prevent future buildup. Allow deodorant to dry completely before dressing. Damp deodorant transfers more easily onto fabrics and sets deeper into clothing fibers during wear. Brighten white fabrics. Hydrogen peroxide acts as a natural bleach alternative. Add 1 cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide to a regular load of whites along with your usual detergent. Wash as normal to brighten dingy fabrics and remove mild stains. Avoid using peroxide on colored fabrics as it may fade them. Do not pour directly onto clothing. Always dilute in wash water. For an easy way to keep socks and dishcloths extra bright, pre-soak them in a mix of half water and half peroxide for 30 minutes before tossing them into the regular wash cycle. Clean and neutralize odors in litter boxes. Litter boxes can develop stubborn odors even with frequent scooping. Empty and wash the box with warm, soapy water first. Rinse and spray 3% hydrogen peroxide over all surfaces. Let sit for 10 minutes to disinfect and neutralize lingering smells, then rinse thoroughly and dry completely. Avoid combining peroxide with ammonia-based cleaners, which can create harmful fumes. To help control odor between cleanings, sprinkle a thin layer of baking soda under the fresh litter. The baking soda absorbs moisture and odor naturally, extending the time your litter box stays fresher and more comfortable for your cat. Disinfect gardening tools. Grandpa always cleaned his garden tools before storing them away. Rinse off dirt and debris, then spray 3% hydrogen peroxide directly onto the tools. Let sit 5 minutes to kill bacteria and fungi, then wipe clean and dry thoroughly. Peroxide disinfects without harming metal or plastic parts. Avoid soaking wood handles, which can swell and crack. A simple way to prevent rust is to rub a light coat of vegetable oil on metal parts after cleaning. It forms a barrier against moisture and keeps tools in good condition for the next planting season. Treat fungal infections in plants. Hydrogen peroxide helps control plant fungus without toxic sprays. Mix 1 tablespoon of 3% hydrogen peroxide into 1 cup of water. Pour into a spray bottle and mist the affected leaves and stems once daily until the fungus clears. The oxygenation kills fungal spores while being safe for most plants. Avoid spraying on plants during the hottest part of the day, as it may cause leaf burn. Always test on a small section before full application. Another option for severe infections is to water the soil lightly with the same diluted mixture to treat fungus at the root level without harming the plant. Rescue plants from root rot. Hydrogen peroxide can help plants recover from mild root rot. Here's how to do it. Remove the plant from its pot and gently rinse off the old soil. Soak the roots in a solution of 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide to 2 parts water for 10 minutes. This oxygenates roots and kills bacteria causing the rot. Repot in fresh, well-draining soil and water sparingly at first. Avoid watering again until the top inch of soil feels dry. Be sure to remove any mushy, blackened roots before repotting. To prevent future rot, improve air circulation and avoid overwatering. Using pots with drainage holes helps greatly. Fertilize plants with diluted peroxide solution. Hydrogen peroxide promotes stronger root growth when used in small amounts. Mix 1 teaspoon of 3% hydrogen peroxide into 1 quart of water. Water your plants with this solution once every 2 weeks. According to Grandpa, the added oxygen in the solution helps roots absorb nutrients more effectively and can reduce soil-borne diseases. Avoid overuse, which can damage roots. This works especially well for indoor plants and container gardens. Be cautious with sensitive plants. Test first with a diluted amount. Here's a helpful bonus. Spraying the same mixture onto leaves lightly every 2 weeks can also discourage pests and strengthen plant foliage naturally. Soak seeds to boost germination. Speed up seed sprouting with hydrogen peroxide. Mix 1 teaspoon of 3% hydrogen peroxide into 1 cup of water. Soak seeds for 4 to 6 hours before planting. The peroxide breaks down the seed coat, promoting faster germination while killing bacteria and fungal spores that might prevent sprouting. Rinse seeds with clean water before planting. Avoid soaking delicate seeds like lettuce or spinach for too long, as it may damage them. Use this trick on tougher seeds like beans, peas, and squash. Plant seeds immediately after soaking to prevent mold or bacterial contamination during storage. Clear algae from ponds and water features. Grandpa swore by hydrogen peroxide for keeping algae at bay. Add approximately 1 cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide per 90 gallons of water. Pour slowly along the pond's edge or directly into trouble spots. The bubbling action helps break down algae without harming fish if used correctly. Never overdose, as it can lower oxygen levels dangerously. Always distribute evenly for best results. Avoid using peroxide in ponds with delicate aquatic plants, which may be sensitive. To reduce future algae growth, consider adding floating plants like water lilies. They block sunlight and naturally compete with algae for nutrients. Disinfect pet bedding and accessories. Keep pet areas clean with hydrogen peroxide. Spray 3% hydrogen peroxide directly onto pet bedding, toys, carriers, or crates. Let sit for 5 minutes before wiping clean and letting air dry. It kills bacteria and eliminates odors without harsh chemicals. Avoid spraying directly onto pets or items they will chew immediately. Do not use peroxide on leather or silk materials. Always rinse thoroughly if unsure. Here's a helpful extra tip. Machine wash soft bedding weekly with hot water and a half cup of white vinegar alongside detergent. It removes deep odors and leaves fabrics fresh and safe for your furry friend. Test fabric color fastness before large-scale use. Before applying hydrogen peroxide to larger fabric areas, always test for color fastness. Dampen a clean cotton swab with 3% hydrogen peroxide and dab an inconspicuous spot like a seam or inner hem. Wait 5 minutes, then blot with a white cloth to check for color transfer. If fabric fades or color lifts, do not proceed. Avoid testing on delicate fabrics like silk or wool, as they're often too sensitive. If safe, proceed with your intended cleaning. Here's a bonus tip for delicate items. Instead of hydrogen peroxide, try a mild solution of white vinegar and water, which poses less risk of fading.